Amazon just stopped all advertising on Google Shopping ads, and this is a really, really big deal. So, if you haven't seen, Mike Ryan actually announced that Amazon has made dramatic international exit from product advertising on Google Shopping. You can see in this graph here where essentially throughout July they are going on Amazon.com, UK, and Germany, quite a bit of owning the entire Google Shopping ads impression, all the way down to nothing whatsoever over the course of only 2 days. This is a huge, huge drop off, and usually very suspect when it comes to Amazon, who takes their time with things, doesn't do things just lickety split like that. So Mike goes on to say, I've not seen an ad stop this dramatic from Amazon since the acute phase of the pandemic lockdowns, which coincided with a 20% drop in cost per click. So that's the big aspect here, is that we're going to hopefully be seeing with this giant graph here a huge drop in cost per click on Google Shopping ads, which is going to be primo, and we'll get into that in just a second. But the real question, Mike goes on, the question right now is why, right? Why are they doing this now? What is the purpose behind this? Is it a measure? And, pulled up a couple of other articles. Some people have this idea on average, Amazon appears in, about 30% of shopping auctions across our client base. So that's from Josh Dugan. So it's a really, really big amount. Dwayne Brown said, related to the Prime Day pause. Now, this is a concern of mine because I've never actually heard of a Prime Day pause. I've heard of essentially, post Prime Day being lower in overall sales revenue, but having a full-on pause this dramatic is not something I have ever heard of before. Now, further on that as well, a couple other people have a couple other suspicions, and also we're kind of curious on what is causing this. Are we set to see another case study like the great case studies before them from the likes of eBay and Airbnb, which I think maybe, right? If Amazon is truly deciding to fully drop out of the race entirely on Google Shopping ads, this means a big, big change for the average brand. Now, that's to be said, historically speaking, this is not the first time that Amazon has dropped out of Google Shopping ads. They have in the past done it, again, like I said, around the time of pandemic lockdowns when Amazon thought that sales were going to go down, and it ended up all sales went up. But they dropped out around that time because they were very afraid, and rightfully so. So I'm a little curious, and also I should say worried, as to why they would be doing it again. Because again, they did that right at pretty much the start, the very tippity tip of the pandemic, whereas now they're doing it post their largest sales day in record history. I think that's just a bit suspicious, if you ask me. So, a couple of things on my mind, though, if you are a seller on Amazon or even not on Amazon. What is this really going to mean for you? Well, a couple of things. The first of which being that likely Google Shopping ads over the next couple of days are going to go on sale. Your cost per click is probably going to go dramatically down, especially if you are located within the US market, just because, again, Amazon products held the #1 spot of about 80% of impression share across the board on Google Shopping ads. That means that if you have your own Amazon product or you are a direct consumer and you are not running Google ads right now, now is the time to get in before everyone else starts optimizing for them. So that's number one. Number two on this as well is that I think we're going to likely see this take a little bit more hold over the next probably a week or two, right? We're going to see what is the actual reason behind Amazon stopping this. For all we know, this is just a very short pause. They may come back within, August, September as it comes to back to school. Might just be that their budget ran out for the month just because they did not expect Prime Day to go as, largely as it did, and they didn't have the ad budget allocated for that. So I also have a third suspicion, though. I think that Amazon is going to start investing in their own off-platform advertising that is not Google Shopping ads. Something that recently came about is that roughly about 63% of all online product searches start on the Amazon platform. That means that Amazon currently was paying for roughly, 37% of searches that are on Google to then route back to Amazon. So essentially they were paying so that people would see you even if you're not searching on Amazon. But the big aspect of that is that what's the point? If they already own 63% of the entire online search start for online consumers, why would they pay to have that 37% and try and eat it at the end of the day? It's likely not profitable for them in some capacity. And obviously there is the aspect that other people can still advertise their products. Sellers can advertise on Google Shopping ads as well, but all of it's just a bit suspicious. My real guess here is that likely there is something going on in the background between Amazon and Google. Some form of contractual cost per click is what I'm going to assume. The big thing as well is that Google really hasn't pushed back against Amazon in recent years because they've been willing to just eat the cost of, other ventures in the shopping world and let Amazon be the big dog just because they rather take that ad revenue that Amazon gives them. So, is this going to be something that will make a long-term pivot within how people advertise on e-commerce? I don't think so. I'm guessing that Amazon will come back to Google Shopping ads here in the somewhat near future, but I think this is a great time if you are having a little bit of post Prime Day woes. Maybe Google advertising and Google Shopping ads are kind of the big thing for you right now. It's going to be lower cost per click than average because you're not competing with $1 trillion company at the end of the day. So, if you like information like this, you like news like this, thanks again to Mike Ryan for being the first to share all of this. But feel free to leave a like on the video, subscribe down below. We post content like this all the time.